Right now, the latest from Asbury Park, where the city's showdown with the governor looms. How will business owners respond? They're not alone there. Even as restrictions are lifted, fears persist over what to expect for the rest of the summer. The football team at Rutgers is ready to take the field yet again. Sort of. How COVID changes things. I'm Nick Medanis. You're watching News 12 New Jersey. Changes have come slowly, but little by little, New Jersey moves on from the virus. We'll check the shore in a minute. Will it be for good? Nobody knows. We do know the Murphy administration says nearly 12,600 people in the state have died related to the virus, with another 103 deaths announced today. The state also says there are about 500 new cases of COVID today, with almost 1,400 people in the hospital. A controversy playing out in Asbury Park. Thinking about dinner indoors there come Monday. Looks like that's not going to happen. 3 days after the city council voted to allow restaurants to open indoor seating, Governor Murphy filed a lawsuit, and now city officials are backtracking. News 12 New Jersey's Hillary Lane is in Asbury Park right now with more. Hillary.
Nick, business owners we just spoke to are absolutely furious. They thought beginning on Monday they'd be able to welcome people inside their restaurants, but turns out that isn't the case. Here's a look at Cookman Ave on a Saturday afternoon. There are a few people getting takeout, some people walking by, but businesses say they just aren't seeing the traffic that they usually do. The resolution by City Council to allow indoor dining was designed to help businesses, especially during this crucial summer season, but it was in direct violation of Governor Murphy's executive order, which only allows outdoor seating beginning on Monday. We spoke to James Avery, the owner of the Bonnie Reed, a restaurant here on Cookman Ave. He says with takeout and alcohol sales, he's only making 1/10 of the profits his restaurant usually makes. He was excited to hear he would be able to open indoor seating on Monday, but after Governor Murphy filed a lawsuit blocking indoor seating and then a court order temporarily stopping restaurants from opening indoors, Avery says he was forced to change his plans, and he isn't happy about it.
You can have a ton of people in Home Depot, Wawa lines out the door, gatherings at 50 inside, but a restaurant that is trained in sanitation. This is what we have been doing forever, right? We know how to keep people safe. That's what we do. If you don't practice safe, protocols, people can die eating in a restaurant. And we have a very good track record of keeping people healthy. And with social distancing and masks, I don't see why there's an issue allowing people to dine in a restaurant.
And the governor has spoken out on this and says he makes his decisions based on one principle, and that is keeping people safe. Live in Asbury Park, Hillary Lane, News 12 New Jersey.
Hillary, thank you from Asbury Park. Let's take a look now at Manasquan, where we have seen all day people at the beach. It is definitely a cooler beach day, but we had plenty of sun still. Let's get the latest forecast now as we bring in meteorologist Michelle Powers. Michelle.
Yes, it was a gorgeous looking day, just feeling a little bit cooler, especially down the shore. But it will feel even cooler starting tomorrow. So here's what's happening. Look outside. It is gorgeous. We have some blue sky, beautiful, fluffy clouds, no storm clouds as we start the evening. And that is it. So going forward here, we have a nice night ahead of us, but temperatures are going to be cooler because daytime temperatures were cooler too. I mean, we had a high of 76 in Newark. We should be looking at 81 degrees. We didn't have that anywhere. No 80s here across the state. So as we take a look at the forecast, satellite and the radar look great. We're not expecting rain or any storms. There's high pressure around the northeast. So things remain nice and quiet for us here locally. What a great way to close the weekend, right? Super refreshing. It's a night that you really don't even need those air conditioners. That's how comfortable it will be. I mean, look at this cooler air just sitting to our north right now. This comes down tonight as we take a look at Futurecast. We're going to watch temperatures cool through the evening hours. So if you are going to be out, I would grab a sweatshirt, grab a light jacket, because we're looking at 50s and 60s. Eventually overnight, that turns to 40s and 50s. So get ready for a chilly start tomorrow. But as you can see, those temperatures, they rebound right back up into those 70s. We'll have plenty more on that coming up. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. July and August are the busiest months for many shore towns, and while some restrictions are being lifted just in time, Other business owners still face significant challenges, as our Keith Kosinski reports from Ocean County.
There's a wave of reopening at Point Pleasant Beach. The beach, boardwalk, mini golf games, and batting cages are back in business. Next week, outdoor dining and shops will open to limited capacity. But for many Point Pleasant Beach businesses, it has been a tough last few months. Owners of Point Lobster Bar and Grill launched their business in February, but quickly shut down with coronavirus restrictions.
And we're having a great time, and then March 16th, close the doors and lay off 93 workers the next day, which was really hard. But
owner Shannon Godwin rehired a dozen of those employees to help with pickup orders. Now they consider rehiring more as they begin setting up tents in their parking lot, preparing for customers ahead of Monday's Phase 2 reopening.
I think it's a great step in the right direction. Hopefully indoor dining opens soon and we can have a real summer.
While many businesses begin the next phase of reopening this Monday, other businesses continue to feel the long-lasting effects of the virus.
Questions we're getting now is, what are you doing to protect us? How are you conducting yourselves with regard to sanitizing the rooms, surface cleaning, distancing?
John Furnicola owns the Amethyst Beach Motel in Point Pleasant Beach. He says while people are concerned with the spread of the coronavirus, he's beginning to see an increase in demand. However, he says nearly 1/4 of his rooms are currently being occupied by long-term rentals from the winter, who cannot be evicted under orders of the state.
Now we are saddled with individuals who we've been told they cannot be put out, they cannot be asked to leave, they're not paying us, and they're keeping rooms that would otherwise be sold to people who would, give us an income.
Governor Murphy put the moratorium in place on March 19th, extending at least 60 days. According to the New Jersey Supreme Court, no evictions are allowed through Sunday, June 14th. In Point Pleasant Beach, Keith Kosinski, News 12 New Jersey.
Keith also reporting that Furnicola, who you saw there, is the owner of the Amethyst, and his manager were both charged with 4 counts of committing an unlawful act while under the governor's state of emergency for allegedly forcing those renters to pay their rent or leave. As restrictions are lifted, more facilities are opening around the state. Here in Union County, dog parks are back for the first time in months. Welcome news for dog owners and their best buds.
I was worried if it was going to be crowded, I wouldn't have come. So I was happy to see that it's nice and open. It's a big space, so you can really, keep your distance here.
That's what it's all about, distance. The county also allowed tennis courts to reopen today. Another distance activity. The Rutgers football team will be on campus Monday for what the school is calling voluntary workouts. The university says it's following state and federal guidelines. Saliva testing for the virus developed at Rutgers will be used. This will be players, coaches, and other staff returning. No other teams working out right now on campus, according to the school. Coach Greg Schiano says they are taking everyone's health very seriously. Casino revenue for May down some 65%, obviously. Casinos in 2 racetracks in the state taking in some $90 million last month, almost entirely from the internet. April's numbers down nearly 70% from last year. Nordstrom Rack joining others and reopening storefronts. That's according to the Asbury Park Press. Come Tuesday, Nordstrom's in the Cherry Hill Mall, the mall at Short Hills, and Menlo Park Mall in Edison will all reopen. Nordstrom in the Garden State Plaza in Paramus is set for Thursday to open again with all these limits and guidelines, so double check ahead of time. Protesters back in Franklinville today, that's Gloucester County. They're out supporting the Black Lives Matter movement. The march starting at the town's library and heading to the police station. Take a look. Officers with them along the nearly 2-mile route. A place now infamous for this. Earlier this week, a viral video mocking the horrific death of George Floyd. One of these guys fired from his job at FedEx. The other is a New Jersey Department of Corrections officer. As you probably know by now, he has been suspended. More than 300 protesters marched to call for an end to racial profiling and discrimination in black men in Camden today. The group Black Men Rising out in Farnham Park also demanding the removal of a Christopher Columbus statue. The march, including speakers at the park, no word on how officials are responding to that demand. Cops in Minneapolis are rarely disciplined when complaints are filed against them. That department under scrutiny since the killing of George Floyd. Derek Chauvin, for instance, the cop who pinned Floyd to the ground, reportedly had 18 prior complaints filed against him. He was reprimanded twice. Minneapolis police have racked up more than 2,000 complaints in 7 years, 31 ending in serious discipline. That's 1.5%. There's the scene in Minneapolis as protesters take on the police union president, Bob Kroll, calling for his firing. His disciplinary record includes multiple excessive force complaints and lawsuits. Residents believe there needs to be more accountability for a union that has failed to implement change.
We are sick and tired of the Police Federation getting in the way of the chief of police doing what he needs to do to hold police accountable. Police Federation needs to be reined in to create a police force that not just respects themselves, but also respects the community.
Protesters blaming former mayors of the city who came and went without doing anything about these complaints. Coming up on News 12 New Jersey, a local celebrity heads to Sesame Street to help kids and families deal with the coronavirus and the summer. Sesame Street is always there, trying to help kids and parents cope with the coronavirus. An hour special on CNN tackled issues like summer safety, play dates, and school. It featured all of our favorite Sesame Street characters, health experts too, and other famous faces like Old Bridge native and gold medal gymnast Laurie Hernandez. Of course, like everything else, Olympics on hold.
Every athlete could probably agree, it was a good choice to at least delay it.
Make sure that the world's health comes first. That's the most important part, that everybody's safe and we're keeping everybody healthy. But also I think it was kind of tough. It was like getting the rug swept out from underneath you. Nobody was really expecting anything that happened this year to happen. So we're all just hanging in there and trying to make the best of it that we can.
And you see there Laurie's teammate Simone Biles, part of that conversation as well.
Yes.
Another record for heat last month, tied with 2016 as the hottest May on record. That, according to NOAA. Scientists say they tracked unusually high temperatures around the world by almost 2 degrees on average. Let's get a check of our weather here with meteorologist Michelle Powers. Michelle?
Yes, well, of course, we were talking global there, but locally here, our temperatures have actually been a little bit below average. And so far, June has been back and forth. We've seen the heat and some humidity. Just remember last weekend how warm it was. And today was a sharp contrast to that. And so tomorrow will also be as well. So as we look at our local almanac here coming out of Newark, we had a high of 77. Okay, that was the official high today, but 81 is the normal. So a drop there. But today, I think really was the humidity. Super, super low. Dew point temperatures are very low for this time of year. So that's what's making you feel so comfortable now. And eventually we're going to turn into a cooler night ahead. You'll see that here even in Long Branch. So we are looking at some cooler conditions developing down the shore too. We are looking at lows in the upper 50s by the time we wake up in the morning. Winds are out of the north, and come tomorrow, we have a northeast wind developing, and our temperatures will show just that. So water temperature right now, ocean water, that's chilly. We're generally looking at low 60s in the surf. So that's the type of air that'll be coming in along the shoreline. That's why temperatures will be in the 60s, maybe close to 70. Meanwhile, inland areas will reach those middle 70s. But still, this is a little bit below average. High pressure is around, so the weather is nice and quiet and calm. We like this type of weather. It's supplying us with a really dry air mass too. For tomorrow, the only noticeable difference will be that it bumps offshore and it allows the winds to come onshore. Otherwise, it's nice and storm-free. We are looking at a disturbance that stays south of us, and that's where the rain will be. So the next couple of days, we're nice and dry. Temperatures are running a little bit below average, but later in the week, it sort of flip-flops. We begin to see the heat and humidity head north again, and there could be some showers and storms by the end of the week. Stick around, that's 7 days up next. Nick, back to you.
Michelle, thank you. Are you ready to travel, or is the pandemic going to stop those vacation plans? News 12's Walt Kane has some tips for safe summer travel in this week's Consumer Alert.
Little by little, the tri-state area is opening back up for business.
Today, the stay-at-home order, which has been in place since March 21st, is being lifted.
Every region in the state is now reopening.
Next week, we're going to be reopening final piece of our economy up to 95%.
With governors giving the green light for non-essential travel, it may be time to start cautiously planning your summer vacation.
This year's not going to be for the European vacation, most likely this summer. But that doesn't mean we're going to stay in our houses.
AAA says road trips, either for one day or for a short overnight stay, will be more popular than usual this summer, as people avoid air travel and stay closer to home. Many hotels have ramped up cleaning procedures between guests and will also stay out of your room once you arrive. But if the thought of a hotel has you too concerned, you're not alone. AAA says many travelers are considering exploring the great outdoors.
We are having people come in to explore options on camping, ask us about RV rentals. That's become something of a very popular option this year.
If you decide to travel out of state, be sure to do some research before you go. Both the CDC and AAA have websites for travelers where you can find out the restrictions in place at your destination and along the way.
I'd also recommend you go back right before you go, because restrictions have been very fluid.
But before you head out on that summer road trip this year, AAA has some other advice, especially if you have a particular local attraction in mind. Check the capacity. Because of social distancing, it may be harder to get into than usual. Research dining options. Is there enough outdoor seating? If indoor seating is allowed, is that something you'd consider? And if being indoors with strangers makes you nervous, consider an outdoor adventure instead. There are plenty of options just a short drive away. And that's your Consumer Alert. I'm Walt Kane.
Governor Murphy and President Trump take their relationship to the next level. The president tweeting his support for a major infrastructure project in New Jersey shortly after having dinner with Murphy last night at Mr. Trump's golf club in Bedminster. The 100-year-old Portal Bridge in Kearney is in dire need of replacement. Specifics, though, are unclear tonight. The governor's office sending out a press release with only the president's tweets in it. The president keeping a full schedule this weekend, delivering the commencement address at West Point. West Point saying it's trying to keep the ceremony as normal as possible. All graduates were quarantined, it says, for 2 weeks before today. Graduating as second lieutenants, all the men and women will be placed 6 feet apart. The president no longer holding that Tulsa rally as scheduled. It was set for June 19th. Juneteenth commemorates the emancipation of slaves. That scheduling led to criticism. The rally will now be the following day, his first since the pandemic started. A country superstar surprising a local teacher during a Zoom meeting. That story is next. Country star Brad Paisley Zoom bombs some teachers at Ben Franklin School in Edison. They got together for a virtual bingo. One teacher heard the singer was all about crashing Zooms, so she sent him a message on Instagram. He got the message, and then he joined the Zoom, giving everyone a big surprise.
My best to keep plenty of space, 6 feet at least. Socially distant, but my soul isn't. I'm trying to feel at ease.
Yeah, the great contradictions of the day. Singer Brian Gallo performing Thursday night on News 12's concert series, a song about being stuck in quarantine. If you're looking to hear some great music, head to our website to see all of our social media concert series shows. News12.com/concerts. Monday night, the Drinkwater Brothers will be performing. You can see that live on our Facebook page. All right, this is an actor here spreading some love with the National Guard and others, hoping to bring peace amid protesting. Water guns given out, as you see here, to spread joy, not hate. Michelle.
May feel a little chilly for that. Anyone with the water, with the pools, with the ocean today, I'm sure we're a little bit cooler. So speaking of that, speaking of the ocean, let's check out our beach forecast. This is for Monmouth County beaches. We're looking at temperatures low 60s in the morning, upper 60s by the afternoon, plenty of sun, water temperature though, lower 60s. And as we head farther south, Seaside Heights, most of Ocean County, you'll see some middle and upper 60s there as well. Again, these temperatures below average, but good news is we're nice and dry for most of the week. There may be some showers and storms towards the end of the week. Tonight, clear, chilly, 40s and 50s, 40s north and west and in the Pine Barrens. So getting pretty chilly out tonight. Grab a jacket, grab a sweatshirt this evening. Tomorrow, looking good. Sunshine returns. Temperatures will be in the 70s though. No 80s here until the second half of the week. About 80 degrees on Wednesday. The rest of the week will feature some low, middle 80s and certainly more humidity with a chance of storms right now on Friday. And that's a look at your local New Jersey forecasts.